sack. No, gets away. He runs, gets away again, goes to the 40, gets away again to the 35.
Hungry dogs run faster.
What's good, everyone? Today, we are back with Having Juice with OJ. But I don't have my boy Juan here. He's in Puerto Rico. He will be missed. So today, I have a guest. His name is Steve DePaul. He's a former Division I quarterback. He's played against people like Central Michigan. No big deal. You can check it out. He's first team all-conference in high school. What's good, Steve? How you doing?
What's going on, OJ? Nice to see you again. You know what I mean? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So today, we're just kind of going to talk about his life and his journey through football, but also off the field, because a lot of people do not get to break down some of these football and sports athletes that you only see film on them and that's all you know about them. So we're going to talk a little bit about it. Let's start off with your high school resume, my guy.
Yeah, so, I'm from Norristown. It was a small school right out in Montgomery County, right outside the city. Norristown, honestly, it has so many athletes, but the problem is they get picked up by all these private schools around like the city and stuff because, Norristown is an athlete factory. You can look at schools like Malvern Prep, St. Joe's Prep. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And honestly, it's better opportunity for the athletes, but the talent does get a bad rap because all the athletes get stolen, kind of. But anyway, so ninth grade, I went to Norristown. Mm-hmm. I played on the freshman team, whatever, but Norristown was wild back then. There was 186 fights. Okay, there's only 180 days of school. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
it was a little rowdy. I didn't let that distract me. I still had straight A's, but the next year, that's when life really got real. I got my first varsity time. We did okay, you know what I mean? But that was when off the field shit got serious. So October 29th, 2016, I was with my best friend, Za, and his brother, Ta, and a couple other friends. And we were just hanging out. It was the night before, I forget what the event was. But anyway, long story short, Ta ended up taking his life right in front of us.
I'm so sorry, bro.
No, it's okay. No worries. But, on the positive aspect, Za is expecting a baby. It's a boy, and he's naming it Ta after his brother who passed away.
Well, congrats to my man's.
Right there. Man. His name is 700 Bully. He raps. He's really he's coming up and he's doing really well. So I've tried to step in and fill that brother void. You know what I mean, for him since he lost one, and I was we were all there to see it. It was a big impact, but I still had a positive life. I ended up having to transfer to North Penn and live with my aunt and uncle because that whole situation, my parents kind of wanted me to, change locations and try to get a better life. So I ended up going to North Penn my junior year, and it was amazing. I threw for 2,100 yards, 23 touchdowns. We dominated. It was crazy. We lost in the state playoffs, but we were putting up numbers that were unreal, 42-0 first half. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you were smoking people.
So it was bad. I mean, we had a lot of D1 kids on that team, and it was more of a chemistry thing. Everybody loved each other because everyone knew each other, respected each other, worked hard together. But that's rare in high school. It's even more rare in college.
Yeah.
It's even more rare in the league. So I was really blessed to have that opportunity and experience at North Penn. I learned so much. It was probably one of the best schools I've ever went to. I learned more from those coaches than I did at a Division I school. Yeah. And it was crazy. But so after my junior season, where I kind of took off, whatever, had a good year, Imhotep, the school in the city that's nationally ranked, they recruited me. They
got dogs at that school.
Yeah,
they got dogs.
That was one of their pitches. They were yo, we got 3 of the top 5 kids in the country. So I was just as a junior going into my senior year with no offers, I was this is unreal. I can't turn this opportunity down. And I ended up transferring there. And literally a month after I transferred there, I got my first scholarship offer from Howard. It was wild, man. It was crazy. So that's senior. So that was going into senior year. I transferred after my junior season at North Penn. So I was at Imhotep in about like January. We trained all off season, ran the 707 circuit. I'll tell you one thing that is kind of funny now looking back at it. I was at a 707 tournament at the University of Maryland with Imhotep, and we played Gonzaga. Now, do you know who went to Gonzaga?
Who went there?
Caleb Williams. And we did play a 7-on-7 game. He wasn't there. I'm so upset, kind of, because I wanted to play against him. Neither of us were really that known at the time, but like it would have been cool to say now.
For sure.
But so we did play Gonzaga. He wasn't there. He was on a visit somewhere else, I think. We did beat Gonzaga, and we played DeMatha in the championship of that University of Maryland 7-on-7 tournament. We ended up playing them in the season, but we played a national schedule at Imhotep. It was a crazy experience. But then senior year, I ended up getting a concussion. I didn't play in the state playoffs, but whatever. I mean, I still had some opportunities to play at the next level. I had a visit to Clemson, West Virginia, before senior year, like when I first transferred from North Penn. But West Virginia, Daniel Holgerson's son was in the same class as me, and he was the head coach.
Yeah.
So what they did was they gave him a scholarship, obviously, and then they offered me a preferred walk-on. But I just didn't have the money to pay out of pocket $40 grand a year. Like, nah, man. So anyway, I ended up going to Robert Morris because I had some money there and I had a good opportunity to play. So after my senior season at Imhotep, I transferred back to North Penn, and then graduated from there. I played in this All-Star game. It was the NFBD All-Star game in Pittsburgh. So it had some dudes like Daquan Hardy. I think he's on the Bills now. He was on the other team, but he played for Penn Hills. There were some great athletes in that game. It was all D1 dudes. And I won MVP of that game. We won on the last drive. It was a crazy story, but that's on my Instagram, like a video of it at least. But then I went to Robert Morris. Freshman year, I was the only quarterback who traveled as a true freshman. They did redshirt me, but we ended up losing in the conference championship that year. We went 7-5. It was the best year they had in years. I think that was because of my recruiting class, and that's not like in a cocky way. It's in like a humble way. The year before, they won like 2 games. Yeah. Then we got there, and it was a new head coach. He brought us in. Good offense coordinator brought me in, and we had some dogs, like some athletes, but it was just a trust thing. They didn't want us to play right away. I don't know. The older dudes were athletes too, so it was kind of. But college football, I'll tell you right now, is everything you think it is, but it's kind of glorified in a way. Because, all right, for example, I'll give you one practice. I got taken out by my OC. I threw a touchdown. It was all right. So it was press cover 1. It was stick concept. The outside guy had to go. The second guy had a flat. Third guy had an option. He wanted me to throw the option route and press cover 1 man, but I threw the go for a touchdown. He took me out because he said, you didn't stick to the script. Once he said that, it kind of clicked to me, and I was like, oh, my goodness. Like, this is so political and, like, controlled. Yeah. But it made sense. Anything at that stage has to be not controlled to an extent, but has to be planned. You know what I mean? But I mean, I feel like that's kind of when I started to lose my joy for the game, because I started to see like the other games that were playing within the game. So, but then all right, so COVID hit, and this is the realest shit. The realest the realest thing, realest thing that ever happened to me, bro. Like, I can't make this up. My number one thing is honesty. If you're honest, you'll never run out of things to say. Yeah. Like, it's just so easy. It's that simple. But when COVID hit, I was home from college. I was still working out and stuff, but like there was like something going on in my neighborhood. Kids were looking for me, whatever. My mom's a 5-time felon. I don't know. She got her own issues, whatever. She called the corporal. This is when it gets real. So in 2020, when COVID started, 2 black unmarked cars picked me up from my house in Norristown. They took me to Building 51, the state hospital. I sat in the intake room for about an hour. A man in all black walked in. He sat down. He tucked his cross. I tucked my cross. The nurse walked in. She was black. He was white. She asked him, "Can you help us?" He said, "No, because we found the meteor in 2023. He said, "Murder's not illegal. They just put you in a hotel and you see a psychologist the next day." He said, "I can't wait to invade North Korea." Then he looked at me and he said, "The next time I see you, it's going to be with a stake in between your eyes." And I sat myself out and I walked out and the police dropped me back off at home. When I asked my parents what he meant, my father said, "You met the devil." My mom said, "Yep, that's your dad." And for 4 years, I've been trying to figure it out since.
Dude, that's deep, my man. That's deep. So
that's all I got. That's for real.
Yeah, no, dude, that's tough. That's all really tough, and I just kind of want to bring it back a little bit to right in the beginning, just you transferring, leaving because one of your friends took his life. Rest in peace, his soul, because that is just tough to deal with, no matter who you are in that situation. Yeah. But I want to kind of harp on you moving to your aunt's, right? How do you think that affected you right away? Like, because you're gonna still hold what just happened, right? But how did you like break out of that and have just like such a monster season? And were you still in contact with people from your hometown at that point?
I was, to an extent, but it was such a culture shock because I felt like, I just went from a school with like 900 kids in the class to like 1,300. You know what I mean? A grade, and it was like everyone knew me and I didn't know anyone. So I always felt like there was a spotlight on me, so I had to keep like a poker face on at all times. Like I didn't want anyone to see me sweat or see me like, because I was in a position of like quarterback. You know what I mean? I can't, like, as a quarterback, you want to lead by example. You don't want to, you know what I mean, have any fear or doubt spread. If they knew everything that was going on, they might have been like, "Is he okay? Is he going to be able to process all this information, process the workload?" But it was definitely a culture shock. And I wish, you know what I mean, like I would have been more open with people, but at the same time, I'm glad that I kind of just held it and internalized it and put everything I literally had in my being into the weight room and football. That's all I did, and that's why that season happened. I feel like, and it was a trust thing too. Like you just feel it, like in the locker room or anything. Like if you've ever been on a successful team like that, like you know what I mean. It's
definitely
you'll go into a game and you'll just like you won't even be thinking about the outcome. Like you'll just be like it'll be so blissful where you're having so much fun. It's like, dude, like we're not even worried. You know what I mean? But
sure.
So when I transferred, it was definitely like, it was lonely because I didn't know anyone but the football team and the kids that, like, you know what I mean, kind of took me in. But then I did end up meeting after the second game against Downingtown East. I threw for 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. There was Made in America the next day. I ended up meeting my high school sweetheart there. I dated her for like 2 years. And then I went to college. We broke up because I was 5 hours away. I met this girl in that played soccer at my school from Norway, and like, dude, she was everything I needed. Like, and so was I, like, to her. You know what I mean? Because we were both like so far away from home at college. You know what I mean? Struggling with sports, struggling with class, and all that. So I mean, I had two good relationships for 2 years, but at the same time, I would say without them two, I would have been like really like struggling with peace because everything I was going through, everything I just talked about.
For sure.
So them two, I kind of trusted a lot and I confided in them, and I feel like they kind of saved me in a way to where I could balance all that. Without that, I probably would have just been like, oh my goodness, like I don't know how to handle it. You know what I mean? Like it would have been a lot.
Yeah, for sure. And during that time, I mean, I know a lot of people have struggled with just talking and being open with people and like finding the right person to say it to because you feel like you're going to get judged. Was therapy ever a thought in your head?
Yeah, so I did do like it was called like this agency called Central, I don't know, Behavioral Health. It's in Norristown. They do offer therapy, and like I don't take any medications or anything, but the therapy is like is court order for me, and I'll get to that.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about like after college, but the thing that happened during COVID was like, you know what I mean, like eye-opening for me. So all right, so I'll go back to that. In college, after that happened, COVID and all that, whatever, I started smoking a little bit, and I was stressed out. I just didn't know what to make of life, you know what I mean, because everything was going on. Everyone was just like stuck at home, isolated, plus all that happened. So we ended up having a spring season like the next year, not that fall, and it was crazy because I had a great spring camp that year, and I was probably going to start if we had a season that fall, and we didn't have a season.
Yeah.
And it was rough, bro. Like, it was like, damn. But anyway, the next spring we had a season, and we played James Madison University. They were the #1 team in FCS at the time. So it was 14-14 at halftime. And we weren't even ranked. We weren't even supposed to like cover the spread or nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was 14-14 at half. They ended up winning like 30-something to 14. But that was the moment I was like, man, like I feel like everything happened for a reason, because I don't know, like not having that season really did humble me. I had to take a back seat to this dude who was like a graduate senior. This is like 6th year in college. I was only 2nd year. You know what I mean? So I had to really humble myself and like just keep growing every day, having a positive growth mindset. That really helps in anything you do, I feel. But other than that, like there was a lot of, I don't know, there was a lot of situations and games, like, or just in life in general, like you can't make it up. You just gotta stay loose. You know what I'm saying? Because if you force it, or if you try to make sense of it, sometimes like that's when you start to lose it. You know what I mean? Like you just gotta roll with the punches.
For sure.
Stay positive. What were you gonna say though?
Yeah, no. Just everything you've been through. I mean, from going all the way back. Excuse me. Going all the way back to just like you transferring, and then you got to start up a whole new life, and then struggling to talk to anyone about it, and then the COVID stuff happening. I mean, that's going to be hard on anybody's mind. And I just want to know like how you even, not just to put it frankly, are like just sitting here right now openly talking about something like this. Did it take years for you to be even like open to this conversation, or like what's going on in your mind right now, just sitting here on a podcast, letting all this out?
Definitely it's a relief, I would say, because I did hold it in for years, you know what I mean? But one thing I did do was I put a lot of effort into just mental, spiritual, and physical growth every day. Hydration, nutrition, sleep, just trying to keep it as simple as possible, you know what I mean? And just, you know, faith, and just having faith. Like faith is the belief in a positive outcome. Fear is the belief in a negative outcome. So any situation, just one day at a time, you know, whether it's going to work or going to a workout or just, you know, hanging out with friends, like just having that little bit of positivity and faith, and that everything will work out, because usually it does. And if it doesn't, you have insurance for the consequences. You know what I mean? So like just in case, like, you know what I mean, just trust, just let go. You mean just stay loose. That's my motto, honestly. But no matter what, your body heals itself. You know what I mean? I take cold showers every day. That saved my life, I think, because here's
little cold plunges.
Never
heard anyone.
You know it?
Definitely.
So it's like, all right. One thing, I read a couple books on it, but the one book really shocked me, because it was like, a cold shower shocks your central nervous system, and like no drug can do that. The drugs can stimulate your central nervous system, but they can't like really wake you up like that. So
for sure,
I started taking cold showers like 3 years ago. I have been ever since, even in the winter, just straight cold. And that, like reading books and just trying to stay busy. You know what I mean?
It stimulates your mind.
Right. No, 100%.
For sure.
100%. I'm glad you said that. But like, definitely doing the next right thing, and trying to focus on what's important now. That stands for win. So if you focus on what's important now,
I like that. You
can win the current situation, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying?
For
Whether
sure.
it's 3rd and 10 or you got bills to pay. Like what's important now? You know?
No, I totally agree. And so football, you're in college. I want to talk a little bit about that one Central Michigan game because
yeah.
you had brought it up to me, and then we're going to move a little bit to post-football, what had happened. So Central Michigan, 100% completion rating, you said, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, that's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, so I played the whole fourth quarter. It was actually it was the fall after the COVID spring season or whatever. It was the first game, so it was that August. And there was a lot of dudes that didn't play because there was still COVID restrictions with the vaccine and everything.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of dudes on their team didn't play. A lot of dudes on some dudes on our team didn't play. So it was like it was up in the air at first, and then we ended up, you know what I mean, we let a couple points up in the first half, whatever. I played the whole fourth quarter, but we got some yards when I was in there, and I did complete a pass for 9 yards, 100% completion rate. And it's the only pass I threw in college.
There we
but
go.
Listen, I'll tell you right now, you can Google it. It's 1 for 1, 9 yards, 100%. And I don't know if you could do that much better. So, I mean, it would have been nice if it was a touchdown, though. That would have been sweet.
That would have been nice. But, hey, there's a lot of people out there who can't say they have 100% completion rating in college. So, there we go.
This is true.
So, yeah, that's pretty dope to be versing them, one, for the people out there. It's a really cool opponent to be versing. On top of that, moving post-football career now, I know you still do 7-on-7s. We'll get onto that for sure. Yeah. But just how did you deal with moving away from a sport you've been with for so long? Because for me, I played baseball for 18, 19 years of my life, and it hurt when I lost that sport eventually. So how did you deal with that?
So, personally, I definitely did a lot of soul searching. I had to find like my true, authentic self, not who I thought I was because I had a ball in my hand. I'm sorry to say it like that.
Yeah,
but,
no, you're
you
good.
You're
good.
But like the main thing I missed was just the team. You know what I mean? Like I didn't miss any of the interviews or the glory, or I missed the guys and like that feeling before you run right out on the. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I got you.
So it's like, I had to find another purpose, I guess, and I had to reevaluate my goals. Like, what did I want to leave on Earth? You know what I mean? Like, eventually, you do have to. You mean, you gotta see like, do I want to just like, I don't know, like, trick girls in the bed every day like every other 20-year-old does, or do I want to be serious and have a family? You know what I'm saying? Like, treat a girl right and take her out and really like. So I was like, all right. I kind of want to focus on like that part of my life and work. Yeah. Honestly, I just dove into work like 6 days a week, like just. So my father owns an irrigation company in Malvern. It's called Surf Sprinkler. Okay. It's a partner company with a landscaping company called Burkholder. So they work together. So I was helping him for a while, and then I got this job in a moving company in Westchester. And I was doing that 6 days a week, but I was also, you know what I mean, I wasn't like messing with a lot of girls, but I was dating here and there. But then I met the girl I'm with now when I just recently got out or whatever, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. And dude, this girl bought me a car. Like, dude, she is like the realest I've ever met. I promise. I don't know what I did or anything, but like I'm just trying to be as genuine and honest with her as possible and treat her right because. Like, she really invested in me when, like, I was down and just getting out, you know what I mean? So it was, like, it was eye-opening because I felt like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, God is real in my opinion. So I just feel like everything does happen for a reason. You know what I mean? Like, even at your lowest points, there will be a high because it goes up and down, up and down. Even though the lows might be, like, low, you know what I'm saying? The highs are, like, wow. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for example, I don't know, my high would be that Central Michigan game, or, you know, like throwing for 4 touchdowns in the first half, like, like stuff like that. Like, you got to remember in the dark times, you know what I mean? Like, just to be grateful. Yeah. That's all.
No, for sure. And just kind of getting into what you're saying, what your lowest of low is, would you like to kind of tell the people a little bit about what happened?
I'll definitely get into that. So last summer, the cops found a Tech 9 in my brand new 2023 Camaro convertible, and the serial number was obliterated. So I did 8 months in Delaware County, and 1 month in rehab. But I went to the hole 6 times in jail. So I would say the low would definitely be the hole, and I beat all my write-ups, so that just tells you right there, none of the times I went to the hole was really my fault. It was all self-defense. Or, you know what I mean, there was just, like, no real evidence. Like, I remember one time they tried to send me the hole because I literally passed the roll of toilet paper under a door for this dude who needed toilet paper, and they tried to say I was passing drugs. It was the dirtiest. I don't know.
Yeah.
That county, all I'll tell you is about that jail, you better know how to fight going in there. Cause, dude, I was at one point 7-0, but I'll tell you right now, when they moved my security level, so there's 10 security levels. I was on 4, 5, 6, never went to 7, that's the upstate block. 8, but that's the reclass block. 9 is the female block, and I was on 10, the maximum security block. I was on 10 6 times because that's where the hole is.
That's what. Yeah.
So, regardless of security level, whatever, I don't know, just don't go to jail. Like, that's why I just got this tattoo. It literally says "Stay loose" to remind myself never to go back. Cause, dude, I don't wish that on my worst enemy. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'd rather you be out on the street and, you know what I mean, a natural death occur in any way. Like, you mean live to 85 and you naturally die, than go to jail and die. Like, or just go to jail in general. Because jail does make a lot of people, like, mean. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad it didn't turn me that way, because I feel like I came from a good enough background to know that there's more out of life. But at the same time, like, that bid really, like, changed me. Like, dude, I got, for example, this one kid owed me money. He owed me $90. And he recently turned Muslim. So me and him had it out, whatever. He was playing money games. We fought. I hit him, whatever. As soon as I hit him, 8 of them jumped me. So I got jumped by 8 Muslims in jail. I mean, they didn't drop me or anything. They did, like, I walked out under my own power, but I mean, like, how do you? Come on now.
It could have turned way worse, bro. It could have turned way worse.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's just, you don't want to put yourself in those bad situations just in case. You know what I mean? Because when you're in jail, there are no rules. Like, they told me, the CEO told me, the second week I was in there, he said, you fight for your food, and you know what I mean? Don't trust nobody.
It's crazy because jail's supposed to be a rehabilitation center.
Not in America.
But
unfortunately.
But it's not.
Right. It is literally, it teaches you how to be a worse criminal. Or I don't want to put it this way, but a better criminal. Some people think of it like that. You know what I'm saying? And, like, you know what I mean? I did grow up in a good enough background to where I know that there's way more to existence than doing crime. And that's, you mean, like, I was carrying for whatever reason, because, you know, my friends, they've been shot. I've had multiple friends got killed. Like, for example, one of my best friends, Rasheen Jones, his name is Run Up Rico, his rap name. He used to sleep at my house when I wasn't even there. Like, type, you know what I mean, relationship when he lived in Norristown, because I was his first friend when he moved there. So I was actually booked in Delaware County, where Chester is, where he got killed. I was in the same jail as his killer. Not that I saw him. I couldn't, like, we couldn't get to him, but or anything like that. But it was a lot. You know what I mean? But you know, like, even my best friend Zah, he got him and my friend Busy, like, they got shot a couple years ago. It was after the game when I was playing JMU. I remember I got back to the hotel after the JMU game in the spring. We lost, and my friend Matt called me. And he was like, yo, like, Zah and Mizzy got shot last night, like 98 rounds. Like, it was crazy. And I'm in the hotel, and, like, my roommate's like, what? Like, I'm on FaceTime. I'm like, bro, like, I can't describe the life I live, but, like, this is real, and I can't make it up. So Mizzy ended up going back to the gun store the next day. He got shot in his cheek. Zah got shot in his leg, but they both recovered. They ended up making a song about it. The song is fire.
Really?
Like, the song is so tough.
Really?
Bro. It's called No Blick. It's so tough.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, 700 Bully in Mizzy, Montana. But yeah, it's just like, that's just an example of, like, you know what I mean, the on field, off the field, just combination of stuff in life.
And people don't, like, know that. People will watch your highlight tapes on Huddle. People will, like, see your visitations. They'll see your Instagram, and they don't know that these things on the side are happening that are affecting your life and also affecting your on-field performances too sometimes.
And thankfully, I never let it get to the point where I was completely out of it. I remember one time in high school, though, my mom called me like right before we played Abington, and we did beat them like 48-7. But I remember I was crying on the field, like calling a play because she was like distraught, like trying to like commit suicide or whatever. But she's got her own health issues and stuff. But like I couldn't tell anybody that just because of the setting and time. We're about to go play a game, like I can't just be like, oh, it's all about me. You know what I mean? I literally just had to like, you know what I mean? Just
you bottled it up,
thug it out.
Like,
whatever I had to do.
I get it.
I mean, we got through it. We're here now, and that's all that matters. One day at a time. Every day is a new opportunity. So
exactly. So let's kind of drag ourselves out the mud real quick because
sure.
you know we're getting a little deep, and I love that, and I'm excited for people to hear this out there because these are good stories to have. But now let's talk a little bit about the positive side that we have going with you right now. You host, well, you don't host them, but you play in 7-on-7 games.
Yeah, so it's a flag league on Sundays.
Here we go.
It's for money. We all put in ref fees, and we put up a bunch of money. So I can advertise that, but at the same time, I want people to, I guess, understand, like, if I could play in another professional league, I would 100% do it.
Yeah.
Because, dude, I love football. I'm sorry. I'm never going to not like that shit.
Yeah, of course.
It's such a rush and a thrill. So, you know what I mean? I'm sure you would play baseball. Like, in an instant. Like,
in an instant, I would go back if my shoulder would allow me to.
You know what I
but,
mean?
yeah.
So, it's like, I don't know. I just want to keep my open mind, keep my options open. You know, I do have a stable job, but, like, that's not everything. Money. Listen, like, I've met dudes that have all the money in the world and they've still been through a ton. Like, I don't want to name drop, but, like, he's the owner of an NFL franchise. And I met him through a mutual friend. Our grandfathers were pictured at the Super Bowl together back in the day. And he's done every drug in the book. But he's clean now. He's been clean for 2-3 years. Like, he's been through a lot addiction-wise and all that, and he came out of it. And it's just hard because, like, even at the top, you have a lot of resources, but they don't understand that can be tough too.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? You always hear about the stories, you know what I mean, coming up from the bottom. It's lonely at the top too. Like, that's a fact. So
for sure.
Whatever hand you're dealt, make the most of it.
Yeah.
Make the best of every situation, because I believe that every single day, the best is yet to come. I believe that we can genuinely prevail in any situation with the right mindset and resources. Yeah. So that's just, like, I don't know, my positive input, kind of, if I can give any. But
yeah, no, I love that. And to kind of start ending this episode, you also rap.
I do.
So do you want to shout yourself out a bit?
So I'm on Apple Music, Amazon, Spotify. It's I started rapping last summer with my best friend. He brought me to the studio for the first time. I spit a little bit and it was good. I liked it. It was fun. So it's GZeus. IG, Instagram is GZeus0, and I'll shout out my boy, since I would have been rapping since, if he didn't bring me in. So 700 Bully is his rap name. Check him out too. He's on all platforms. So if you want to check out some good music, some motivational, like, focused, like, really intense, you know what I mean, get stuff done stuff. And then I got some party songs.
There we go. You got to. You have to.
For the Friday night pregame, whatever it is. So go check it out. It's on all platforms. Appreciate you.
Yeah, so thank you, Steve. This has been great chatting with you, bro, and I'm excited to get this one out. This is probably one of my favorite episodes I think I've ever recorded.
Dude, that's sweet.
Like, seriously. So thank you so much. Like, comment, subscribe, and give him a follow. And thank you so much, my boy. Peace. Absolutely. We'll see you next week.
Anytime, brothers.
In trouble. He's going to be sacked. No, gets away.